Hello and welcome. Welcome to FleetPulse. And thank you for taking your time to watch this demo. So what I want to do is to demonstrate how this application works. But what does FleetPulse actually do? In simple terms, it helps you to keep track of your vehicles. Now, on the other side, it helps you to keep track of your employees or drivers as the case may be. So while the main focus of this application is to keep track of your vehicle, where it is at each time, how many vehicles you have, you are also able to keep track of how many employees you have, and that is for free. So what I want to do is to demonstrate how this application works. Now, interestingly, this application takes into consideration consent. So there's seamless registration, and then there's consensual assignment. So what happens is, as the owner of the vehicle, you can assign vehicle to a particular driver, but the driver have to accept that assignment that you're giving to him. So it means this driver can check the vehicle, and if the vehicle is not exactly in the condition you say it is, they can reject it, and then you have to reassign it, which makes sense. It will help to stop unnecessary misunderstanding that happens when a driver is assigned a vehicle and he goes out to find out that that vehicle is actually not in the best of shape and it has been assigned to the person. And then at the end, you're able to see analytics, how many vehicles you have, how many organizations you've created, how many employees you have running, and all that. Of course, this will grow eventually as time passes by. So, and you see how this transforms. So how does this work? It's simple. We do a sign up, add vehicle, add employee, and then we assign vehicles to employee, and that is it. From there, you can now track the usage of a particular vehicle. So in short terms, you can always say this is where my vehicle is at this particular time. So that is it. So let's jump right in. This will require two users, of course, because there's need for consent. So the first user will register, the first user, and that user will create an organization. So I have two emails open here that I'll be using for this demo. So we'll be using this one and then this one. So let's go back here and let's start the sign up process. And of course, it's an easy sign up process. So you just click on the get started button and it navigates you to the authentication page. Now here in the authentication page, you put the email address that you want to use. So we'll just use this first one here. It doesn't matter which one. So come here, paste it in here, and then put in the password of your choice here, and then you can try signing in, but of course signing in would not work. Why? Because you are not yet logged in. So when you try to sign in, it's not going to work because this credential has not been used. So we'll click on the sign up and navigate here, so which means you need to do a little of setup, and then you can just enter a few details that are needed, and paste the email address, don't forget, and then put in the password that you want to use. Of course, you need to put in this password again to make sure that it is exactly what you intended. Click on agree to terms, and then click on the sign up button. Now once you click on the sign up button, it will require that you do some verification. This is very important so that we are sure that the email you are using is a real email, and it's easy for you to retrieve your password in case you lose it. So just click on the link that is sent to you, and to navigate you back to the page. It shows you a confirmation message and now redirects you to create an organization. Now this page, or creating an organization, is optional rather. Why is it optional? Because users who don't have an organization can also create an account here as employees. So if you want to create an organization, you just come here, put in the name of the organization. So you could just put in what you want. So this could be the name of the organization, Plentify. You could put in a little description. So you could put, say, Prado Fleets, whatever you want to describe. It could be detailed than this, and then you click on create. So once you have created an organization, it will ask you to make payment. So making payments ensures that you're able to use the system. So for you to make payments, you need to indicate how many vehicles you want to pay for. You want to indicate if it's yearly or monthly payment that you're going for, and then each of these comes with different bonuses. So for example, if you're doing monthly, just know that if you're taking 5 vehicles, you'll be able to register 6 of them. If you're taking 10 vehicles, then you'll be able to register 12. So you have 2 bonus on 10, 1 bonus on every 5 vehicle. Now if you are going for a yearly payment, then know that you'll be getting 15% off no extra vehicle, or 15%, which is of course cheaper than going for the monthly one. All right, so let's click on the monthly one, and then we'll say maybe let's just pick the 5 vehicle. If you pick 6, it will say add 1, because it's for every 5 you get 1. And then you can select the organization. So here will contain all organizations, whether your own or not. You'll be able to pick the organization, and then notice that it's telling you that you need to pay $6. All right, and you would have one bonus, which is not shown here, but it is actually indicated here, 1+1. All right, if you are going for say five, it will be $5, as you can see, like that. And then you click on get credit. So for now we're on test environment, and so we'll be using test card. But if you are say on a real life environment, when we go live, as at the time I'm making this video, we've not gone live. So if you're on real life environment, you need to use a proper card. So I'll just pick this card, and if you're looking for a demo card to use, you can just check out Stripe. I'll try to add it to the description of this video. And then on Stripe you have many cards for different purposes, and then you click on pay. So as soon as you click on pay, it processes your payment, and once your payment is complete, it redirects you back to the system, and it tells you your card was successfully charged. As at this point, you are now ready to be navigated back to the dashboard. So here in the dashboard, you notice that you have one organization created, you have one member, which is yourself, and then you have one order, which is the payment you have just completed. Now, if you also check out your email, you should be able to access the order confirmation for what you have just created. So you just click on the link there, and it redirects you to the system, showing you every details that you need to know about the payment you've just made. So you made it for $5. The vehicles you now get is 6. So remember that I said for every 5 vehicles you get 1 extra. So for these 5 vehicles you've paid for, you got 1 extra, which makes it 6. And the expiring date would be November 21st, as I'm making this on October 21st. All right, so that is it. So let's go back to the dashboard. So this will be here. So here in the dashboard, interesting dashboard, very simple to use, easy to navigate. You were able to navigate to different tabs. So here is a vehicle tab. Of course, it's empty. We'll put in something there. The organization tab now has one. You can choose to view your details, and of course, as the owner of the organization, you can edit. Then for members, you don't have any yet because no one has tried to join your organization. For order, you have one order here, and then for settings, you can check out what's important to you. So for example, here's the personal details. You can choose to update this. So for example, I can add a particular image for the profile picture here. So once it is added, I can just submit, and that updates it automatically. And for the account setting, you could choose to change your password here. We'll come back to this a little later. And then for drastic here, you could log out or delete account, something like that. So here in the vehicles, you can now add a vehicle. So we'll just click on this button, add new, and put in all the details of the vehicle. So you choose what the vehicle name would be. So for example, you could say 2025 Lexus, something like that. The color, you choose your color too. So you could use a gray. The license number, you type in what you need to type in there. Registration number, the same thing. For the engine number, of course, you put in the engine number. The chassis number, you put in all those details. And then for the registration date, expiring date, that will be when your registration expires. So you try to find that one out and also put it there. So it could be 2026. And then you can choose status of this vehicle, like active, inactive, or stuff like that. This helps you to know when your vehicle should be off the road. So for example, if your registration date is expired, then it should be inactive. All right, but of course, even if you register a vehicle here, it doesn't mean you must assign that vehicle. So basically, the application helps you keep track of your vehicle, whether registered or not. Then for the photos here, you can upload photo of the particular vehicle here. So let's just pick something as the image of the vehicle, and then you could add some description. For example, if it has a problem, you say it has a problem. If it is all good, you say it's all good. So we could put all good and working fine, something like that. The description can be longer than this. It just needs to be detailed enough to help the other person will be using the system or the employee to know what you're giving to them, so that if it's not there, they'll tell you it's not there, and you check it, everybody's on the same page. So you add the vehicle like that, and immediately asks for you and shows you everything here on the screen here. Now you can choose to check the history or delete this particular vehicle. Now for the history, once you click on the history, it should navigate you to another page where you would be shown how many vehicles, sorry, how many times this vehicle has been assigned to a user. All right, so that's what we'll do now. All right, so let's now do the history. So more like assign vehicle to a particular user. So let's click on the history. It tells us to initiate an assignment. So when we click on initiate, now the problem we face here is that we don't have any employee yet. So here you don't have anybody. So let's go sign up another user, and then that user joins us as an employee. So let's use this other browser here, and let's clear this email. So come here, I have this email open here also. So I'll just copy the email, come down here and put this, and then we've not signed this person up, so let's sign up first of all. So paste it in here and then put in the name like that. So we can just put Amaka like that and put Chuku, something like that. And then in the password, put what we feel comfortable with. So just like that, put in, make sure to click on this I agree to terms, and then create the account. Then an email will be sent to this particular email, and then we all click on it to verify our email or confirm our email. Then it redirects us to create an organization. So like I said, creating an organization is optional. So you mustn't create an organization once you are here. You can just go straight to the dashboard. So when you come down to the dashboard here, you have access to the dashboard, but of course you don't have any details here because you've not joined any company and you don't own any company. So you can come down to organizations here, and you see one organization that was created by the other user, and it's telling you to ask to join. So it's more like you're saying, hey, I want to join your company. So you can just click on this ask to join, and it tells you awaiting feedback. So let's go back to this other user, come out of here and go to members. So notice that here in members we now have one person, which is this Samakachuku that was just signed up. So for us to accept this user, you just need to toggle this status. And so once you toggle the status, notice that the accepted by shows the person that accepted, and then the date accepted also shows like that. So if you turn this off, it goes off. But if you turn it on, it shows exactly the day and the person that accepted. So when you go back to this organization now and click on overview, it shows you details of this particular organization that was joined. And when you come back to this organization here, it is showing, and without telling you awaiting feedback or asked to join, which shows that this person have joined this organization. Now if you click on the vehicles here, in the vehicles, in my vehicle history, should show you the list of vehicles that has been assigned to this person and indicate if it is active or not. So let's go back to this and try to assign a vehicle to that user. So go to history, click on initiate. And this time around we have one user here, so click on that user, and expected dates of return, just to monitor if this person brought it by early enough. So we can put, say today's 21, put 21, so we're expecting maybe later in the evening. And then you could describe the condition of this vehicle, saying something like vehicle in good condition, needs fueling, something like that, just something like that. And then when you come down here, now here is the very interesting part. You need to initiate this dispatch. Now if you don't initiate this dispatch, the employee would not be able to accept the dispatch, and so this assignment would not work. So toggle this button on and then click on make transfer. Now as soon as you click on make transfer, this particular vehicle now have this history showing that this vehicle was the transfer of this vehicle was initiated at some point. And so when you go back to this particular user here under my history, you also notice that that history is there. Now because this vehicle has been assigned to this person, nothing can be done currently by this particular owner of this vehicle. He cannot maybe accept the transfer back because it was not even accepted by the user, something like that. So what needs to happen now is that this employee or this driver now needs to come here to edit, and it would now indicate that he or she have accepted this transfer. Now as long as this transfer was not accepted, the owner of this vehicle can choose to delete this history from here. So you click on this, you can click on delete, and this goes off for everybody, and that is it. When you now come back to this other side, you also notice that that history is gone. So let's go back here and reinitiate that transfer. So pick the same user, Of course, that's the only user we have. Put in details you want, and then initiate the transfer, make transfer. Let's make sure to pick the date we expect that this is returned, and make the transfer. All right, so let's come back here where the employee is supposed to be working. All right, so here in the employee, you can now choose to accept this dispatch or this transfer. So just toggle yes and then make transfer, and then you see the date which this dispatch was accepted now shows up here. Now, up to now, the owner of the vehicle can't receive the vehicle. Why? Because this vehicle needs to be returned. So this needs to be initiated by the driver. So we'll come back again, do an edit, and then initiate return. So return initiated. Click on make transfer, and then when you come back here, notice that the date is progressing and the status of this vehicle is still active. So since it is still active, it means that somebody still needs to make an action here. And so you click on edit, you do return accepted. So this is where it is, return accepted, and then click on make transfer. Click on make transfer, and then here you see that this transfer was accepted here on this particular date, and then the status becomes inactive, which means that this vehicle is now free to be assigned to somebody else, just like that. So while a particular vehicle is active or has an active history, it will not be available to be assigned to any other person. So just like that. And this is how the vehicle transfer works. So you see how you're able to keep track of your vehicle at every point. So if you have multiple of them, you'll be able to keep track of all of them like that. And you know when a particular person is holding down your vehicle or not. You also know who to hold about your vehicle at every point. You can also keep track of how many vehicles you have, because you can add, of course, multiple of them here and create multiple history. So for example, we can do 2024. Do you want to say Prado again? Okay, Prado Jeep. And so enter color, want to do red, it's nice, and then put in these numbers as they should be. Don't forget about this registration date, like that, and then put 2026. You can see it's inactive for now, and then pick a particular image, then put in description that you think is good, and then add this vehicle. So you see, as many of them can be added, but not all of them can be assigned. So when it's inactive, it cannot be assigned to a particular person. And so we've been able to run through everything about the system. So here's the overview. Here is the vehicles, here's the organization. You can choose to add new organization here and say verify, something like that. Pick the email you want, like that. You can pick a logo, put in a description if you will, so just like that, and then add the organization. Immediately it adds the organization for you. So now you can choose to swap between organizations, and when you swap, the details of each organization become active. So for example, when I activate this one and come back to the overview, you notice that there's 0 vehicles, there's now 1 member. All right, so when we come back to Plentify, come back to overview, you see you see 2 organizations, 2 vehicles, 1 other. So just like that. So this is how it works. And you can come down to the setting. I think I've touched the setting before. You could choose to log out here, update your password and stuff here. And here in the other, you can keep track of payments you've made. So for now, you have an active payment, but once the month is done, it becomes inactive. And here in the members, you can keep track of all your employees, and you can choose to turn off the status of an employee to show that you no longer work with them. And just like that, you're able to manage all your vehicles and your employee. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you use this system as it progresses. Do not forget that there's a search box here. So the search box helps you to narrow down your search of any particular thing you want. So this is the 2025 Lexus showing up here. If it changes to 2024, it would also update like that and showing you the 2024 product. Thank you very much for watching. Please use the system. Give me feedback. I appreciate your honest feedback.